Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Saska and this is Saska Digital Budgeting. In today's video, we don't have a cash stuffing. Instead, this is going to be a how-to tutorial on how to make A7 sized envelopes for your wallet. All right, if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and stay tuned. All right, so we are doing a how-to tutorial on how to make A7 envelopes for your cash wallet. So I decided that I wanted to give it a try, give it a go of making A7 sized envelopes for my cash wallet, since I just did this, and you know, I just added this on my first paycheck of the year, and I kind of want to do the homemade envelopes instead of these zipper closed envelopes. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making some of these guys to replace these guys. All right, so the materials that you're going to need to make these A-size envelopes is going to be cardstock. What I have here is I got these books from Michaels. These are just colors and designs that I like. I have two of them, and they have cardstock with pretty little designs, and I picked two that I liked and I pulled them on out. So you need some kind of design paper. It can be cardstock. You can print out your own designs on printer paper. That would also work perfectly fine as well. And then what you will also need is going to be some kind of cutter, some kind of paper cutter. This one is a Frisker's cutter that I got off of Amazon. I think I spent like $25, $30 on it. It works great. It has all of the measurements. This one goes from 6 inches here, and I think it's like 15 inches high. And then this one also has a little pullout that extends to 15 inches here if you want something that you can use for something else later. And then you may need scissors. That's kind of up to you. It does make my life easier personally. You are going to need a laminator. Mine that I have here is the Amazon Basics laminator. It works perfectly fine. I've been using it for like a year now, and I enjoy it. It works great. And then you're going to need something to punch holes with. This one is also from Amazon. Basically everything that I got here is off of Amazon. This one you can change though the distance in the holes, so it's very versatile. You have four different size options. So I use this when I make A6 size savings challenges, and also I can use it for the A7s. And then optional is a corner rounder. I don't like the sharp pokey corners. I always tend to prick myself on them. It doesn't, not so much to make me bleed, but it's just it's an aesthetic thing more than anything else. And then, of course, you need laminating sheets. So I've got here, these are 3mm laminating sheets, Amazon Basics, pretty cost effective. They come in a pack of 100. I think you can also get them in larger packs too. I just got them in 100. There's also a 5mm option. So it's kind of up to you what you're gonna do. So once you gather all of your materials that you need, you can get started. All right, so without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna start out by cutting down to size my two sheets that I'm going to need for all of the envelopes that we're gonna be making. So again, those dimensions are for me and what I like, and for what is going to fit my wallet is gonna be 3 inches tall and then 5 inches wide. These sheets that I got from Michaels are 12 by 12. They do come in various sizes. Some are more like printer paper length and width, so like 8.5 by 11. These are just 12 by 12. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this one and decide which way I want the height to be. I think I want the height this way. So I'm going to be bringing this on through, and then I have down here, if you can see, I have a 3-inch mark here all the way up. Make sure it's actually like in line with that mark all the way over, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the cutting. So that is just going to be my first sheet. That's 1. And then just kind of repeat, go back to 3 all the way across. Bring this guy back through. I am going to have a little bit of excess. Maybe. Actually, no, I won't. So this guy should, it's in and of itself, be 3 inches. Okay, it's a little bit more, actually. Okay. And then this little guy. So these should all be 3 inches if I can get them all off. Okay, so yeah, looks right. And then we're just gonna go back through and do the same for this sheet. Now I want my height to be this way. I can't decide if I want my height to be like this way or if I want it to be this way. I think I like it this way. So we're cutting it this way. Okay, I have to do some mental gymnastics in my head. So we're gonna, again, bring this back to 3 and cut. All right, and then these guys are at 3 inches as well. These guys are at 3 inches. So now we're gonna bring them down to the width, which is gonna be 5 inches. So I'm gonna line my paper up with the 5-inch. Ooh, and go ahead and cut. So that's 1. And 2. So I'm gonna get 2 out of every one of these strips. Oof. Bring it back to 5. All right, so now that I've got all of my little fronts of my envelopes, I'm also going to go ahead, I guess I didn't do this, I'm gonna do white backs on some of them. So I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this cardstock, and whatever I use, I use. So I'm gonna cut again for my height at 3 inches, and then cut my width. I'm not going to make as many of these guys, I'm just doing it to show you. So otherwise I would have done width versus height first for my 3 inches, if that makes any lick of sense. Right, so I've got a couple that I can do for white backs. I think for my personal use right now, I'm going to do clear backs. So for the clear backs, what we're going to do first is going to be cutting down this laminate to the same dimensions that we used for the colored parts. But these laminate sheets are curved at the edges, so we're just gonna cut that off to remove that colored bit, or that curved bit, excuse me, because we don't need that. And then at the top here there is an already sealed, and since we're not using that as a pouch for this part of the thing, I'm gonna cut that guy off too. So away we go. So up next, I am going to cut these guys down to size. I'm actually going to cut it this way so I get more use out of it. So we're going to bring this over to 3 inches. And we're going to cut. So that's 1. And then another 3 inches. And we're gonna bring the final bit, I think is gonna be ever so slightly short for 3 inches, but we're gonna find out. It is not. Haha. Success. Now to just get the laminate. All right. Now we're gonna take these little guys and cut them down to 5 inches so that they also match the width. So that's 1. And then and that's 2. Three. Come on. 4. And then for the last one, we're gonna do 5. Hey, my cat's messing with something on my desk. All right, so then we've got 5. I'm gonna do another one the same way here, and I'll meet back with you when I'm done. All right, so we are going to start off with the peekaboo envelopes, which means that I need to cut an angle off of these guys. So I need 6 of these, and for my personal envelope, let's see if there's any, let's see which ones I want to keep. That one, I like that one. Definitely like that one. That's a lot of gold. So that one and that one. Okay, so these 2 will be for other envelopes. So for these guys. So basically, I need to cut a corner, and I need to be somewhat precise just to keep it uniform looking, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I am lining up the corner. Sorry, you probably see my head there. My corner on the bottom corner on 1, and then aligning this corner on the edge where the white ends. And we're gonna see how we like that. I think that'll work. So, corner on the edge, or corner on 1, and then the other corner on the edge. And then just repeat. It's really just finding whatever angle you like. Doesn't have to be the same as what I'm using. It could be more of an angle, it could be more this way, you know, whatever works for you. And then just repeat it until you have all the envelopes you need cut. Alrighty, so let's see how well I actually did. So they're all relatively close. There's like a little bit of a difference by like a couple of millimeters across all of them, but I'm not really worried about all of that. The angle's ever so slightly different, but you're only going to notice it if you're looking for it. So what we're going to do here next, I'm going to move my cutter off to the side. I'm going to get my laminator set up, and then we're going to put these all together, at least the peekaboos, and then we're going to move on to the other two. Okay, so I'll be right back again. All right, so we got my laminator. It is warming up. I'm going to shift it out of the way until we actually need it. Now we're going to set up the envelope itself. So we have our cards here, and then we have our laminating pieces that we cut here off to the side. So what we're going to do is we're actually going, there's two sheets or two pages here. So I'm going to flip that open. The outside is like shiny, and the inside is like matte and more frosted, I'd say. So it's matte and frosted. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually flip this guy over and inside out on itself so that the shiny sides are facing each other. And then one of these are double-sided if I didn't mention it. The part that we cut for the peekaboo, we're just going to go ahead and line on up with our sheet so it fits right there, just nice and perfect, and going to be nice and aligned. So I'm going to shift this out of the way. I'm going to grab an actual laminating pouch here, and we're going to go ahead and place it on in here. So I'm trying to keep it all aligned, which is going to be the trick that I have never been particularly good at. I think it just takes practice. So you want to keep them all aligned. And I think I can do 4 per page, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to, yeah, see it pops up. I'm going to have to redo that, which is going to drive me nuts. So what we're going to do, just keep doing, you flip the two pieces of laminate so the shiny sides are facing each other, and align your cardstock or whatever designed paper that you're using for your face and placing it in. See, I know these are not going to be cooperative, which is what I hate here. Let's actually do this so it doesn't want to pop up. Having something underneath the back sheet kind of helps from keeping the bottom part of it from like curling up on you. So we'll try that. And then get these guys nice and aligned, or try to. There's so much static electricity that from these sheets that nothing really wants to align. Okay, so there's 2. They're not perfectly aligned, and I can see it. I can see when it's not aligned, and it's driving me bonkers. Because call me a perfectionist, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to aligning this kind of stuff. I don't really know why. I think there's just some overlap, and we're going to have to be okay with it. All right, we'll call that good. And then I'm going to grab another sheet here and flip it inside out so the matte is facing outwards and the shiny side is facing inwards. And then we're going to add a card again. And because I'm adding these for a binder, I am leaving what will be the bottom of the envelope facing towards the outside of the laminate page so that I have room to punch holes. Oh Lord, this is a pain in the butt, but it looks pretty once you get it all said and done. So, and then I am leaving enough room around each of them for a border. So here for the 4th one, for this sheet, and we're gonna place it. Okay, without shifting everything, ideally. Okay, those aren't like evenly perfect, like straight across, but that is okay with me. And then we're gonna lay it down, yay, and send it through the laminator. So for my next trick, we're gonna get it going through and get it going through even, which I always fail at. And wait for it to catch it. Okay. Now for me personally, I always run these through twice. I just do. Just to make sure that like air bubbles and all of that have been pushed out. It doesn't affect the laminator or the lamination page. But like I can see that there's a bubble here and something's not completely sealed. So I just want to run it through twice. And then we're going to grab another page here and we're going to start setting up the ones with the white backs. Alright, so I'm going to let that go through. I'm going to shift it off to the side. Alrighty, so there is that. You can see that these are double-sided. But that is okay. So I'm going to put this off to the side and we're going to set up the next sheet. Alright, so since I need 6 total for my envelopes, I am doing peekaboo. So we are going to do the last 2 peekaboo and then we're going to do 2 white backs. Alright, and then for these guys, we're going to do white backs. So I have my white cardstock that I cut to size. And with these, you don't actually have to have a filler in the middle. All you have to do is you have 2 pieces. This is going to create the pocket in here. And you just kind of have to line them up and then stick them on the page. And that's really it. It's really not any more complicated than that. And then for these guys, bam, done deal. And then send it on through. And then after these guys have been run through twice, we're going to do clear backs with these guys. So there will be 2 extra, and I'll have 8 of the clear back envelopes that are just normal. And you do have the option of labeling all of these before you laminate them, either printing them out or using vinyl stickers and actually laminating with the vinyl already on the inside. I just prefer to just laminate or label the outside of them because I do reuse my envelopes. I just take the vinyl off and use new stickers to relabel whatever envelopes it is. So that is just my personal preference. You can obviously do either. Both ways are correct. It's just personal preference, really. All right, let's go ahead and send it back on through for the second round, and then we'll set up our last 2 sheets with the the clear backs. So while this is running through, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on that. I need to make sure to actually grab my guys. So it's the same thing as with the peekaboo. You take your already pre-cut, you flip it so the shiny side is out, or the shiny side is in. Line it up with your sheet, which is easier when you actually have 4 sides to deal with instead of just the 3. And lay it on in. Bam. And just rinse and repeat, basically. So then these guys are just going to be the full face clear back envelopes. And I've got a few more to go, so I'm just going to start working on those while these are running through. Alright, so now that I did like a little last sheet because I had a little extra. So I did one with just a band, a bigger band, a smaller band that you can label, print on, whatever, and then just a clear one because I had extra and I don't believe in wasting. So we're going to turn this guy off, set it off to the side so it can cool down before storing it. Here, I'm actually going to put it on my other desk, I think, for the time being, so we don't melt anything or accidentally burn ourselves. And we're going to come back to the cutter here. So we've got all of our sheets, all of our little envelopes. I am going to put them over here. You have the option of using a pair of scissors to kind of cut them all out and then trim them up if you'd like. I like using a paper trimmer, but I'm going to cut down the middle here and then go do the trimming because these are not all, like, obviously, like, they're all kind of wonky. So I'm going to give myself room to play with. Just going to cut these guys in half here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to split them. I guess I could do this. Well, you know, here, this is going to be easier. Alrighty, so then those guys are going to pass. So I've got all of my guys here. So what we're going to do is I like to kind of trim the sides first, which for this, actually I'm going to trim the bottom first because, yeah, that just sounds like a better idea. So I'm going to line the bottom of my paper up with my 1/2 inch mark for this guy, because I want a 1/2 inch on the bottom. So that's going to leave a 1/2 inch here. And now that I have that, I've created a straight edge. I am going to trim the sides a little bit. There's a little bubble on the edge of all of your lamination. You don't want to cut that edge. So it's a little bit tricky to, you know, make sure you're not cutting that edge. And then I am just going to go around, and now I'm going to do the top. Actually, I'm going to do the side. I'm going to flip it over because I can actually see that. And we're going to trim that guy. Okay. Now, finding all of these little plastic pieces on a white board is not fun. So now we're going to cut the top. So we want to break the seal. Sorry, my cat is knocking things off of my other desk because she's annoyed that I'm not paying attention to her. So the easiest way to do that is to line up the bottom of your design paper with that 3 inch mark, and you should just cut off the top. So let's test that theory. Right-eo. So it does cut off just the smallest every little bit of the design, but I think it just kind of laminated sideways. and then you have a little pocket that's nice and easy to open. So we're just gonna rinse and repeat, okay? All right, so what we've got here, we've got envelopes, they've got the openings, all of them. See, so I did mess up on a couple of them. I did cut too close to the edge, so there's a couple that I cut the seal on, which is why you want to make sure you don't cut that seal. But, you know, that does happen. It's okay. The ones that I actually intend on using, though, I got it right. So I've got those. So now, next thing that we're going to be doing is hole punching them. All right. So I'm going to move this guy off to the side, and we're going to bring in this. This I got off of Amazon. You can adjust where the holes are or where you want them. And for this one, it's the pocket/mini setting. I use the personal setting here. I don't even know if you can see it, for my A6. The A6 Agenda one actually isn't the right hole spacing for the binders that I use. So it's kind of just trial and error. I always do a test test punch before I actually punch what I'm actually, you know, creating. So like for the paper that came in my A6 envelope, what I would do is I'm going to take, you know, a test punch. So like for one of these clear ones that I don't actually intend on using, I'm going to go ahead and slide it on up in there and see if the holes line up for appropriate spacing. And they do. So we're good on that. And what I do notice, it depends on how much spacing you want at the top or the bottom. So like this, if you can even see, there's some cutoff here. So what you can do, this has an adjustable slide. So I am going to slide it to the next one and do another little testy thing to see if that is more evenly spaced between the top and the bottom. So again, we're going to line it up, and it's closer, but I just kind of fiddle with it until I figure out what looks the best. So this one isn't actually on a specific setting, it's kind of in the middle, but we're gonna see if that is more evenly spaced for what I want to use it for. It looks like that'll just about do it. All right, so I have my 3 there that are just kind of like little examples of what you can do. This is just 1 inch wide, this is 1.5 inches, and then this is just your basic clear envelope if you don't want anything on the front or the back. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna punch out these guys. So bam. So that one's the first one done. All right, I'll see you in a few when I'm done. Alrighty, so I've got all of my guys hole punched. So what I'm gonna do next is I have a corner rounder. This I also got off of Amazon, and it has 3 different settings that you can use. You can use the 7mm corner, a 4mm, or a 10mm. I don't actually know which one I actually like using, so I'm gonna do a little test punch to see if I can get it to let go. Now this one isn't the best corner rounder that I have seen on the market. It's a little finicky with the corners. It just kind of depends. So like that one didn't even come close to cutting cleanly. So we're gonna move on over So that one cut cleanly. So I don't know if you can even like see that that's a corner round versus, I'll do a 4mm on this one. The 4mm is like barely anything. Like there is like barely around. So I don't really, the 4 is just kind of, it's too little. And then the 10 is too much. So we're going to do the 7 because the 7 is just right. Alrighty, so now that my desk looks nice and chaotic, we've got a whole bunch of different types of envelopes that you can create. It really didn't take me all that long. It probably took me a little bit longer just because I stopped and I did all of the different ones. So we've got your traditional peekaboo here. So we've got the little pocket behind. I'm going to grab a little bill here just to give you a little show and tell. So you can fold it like 3/4 because it will fit, or what I tend to do, or I normally do, I might change it now that I have peekaboo, is go ahead and throw it on in here and you've got it there. So if you were going to do a 3/4, which let's just go ahead and do it. We've got this guy and then bam, look at that. Woohoo. And the back is clear, so you can see it from the back. You can also see I have the double-sided paper, so it's a different design on the back. And then we did white backs with the normal. You could do white backs for the peekaboo also if you want, so just the front design would be cut off in the corner. And then we've got the clear backs here, which you can just go just like so. So all your money is nice and hidden, and there you go. So let's go ahead and move on over to my binder and replace what we've got in here with what we've got right here. All right, so we've got here my little wallet I've got here. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch these guys over. I'm going to relabel them off camera because, yeah. So here we've got, first up, gas. We're going to move on over. I'll probably do the different style folding here later. Probably with the next envelope or next sinking funds stuffing. And then I've got one for food. I've got my next for coffee, my addiction. General spending. So this is kind of my miscellaneous spending throughout the week. Then we've got laundry. And up last here is going to be receipts. So I get this guy in here. And receipts, I don't have anything in it, so this one's just going to go on to the back. And bam, there you have it. We have some nice little envelopes that I get to enjoy that I created right here with you. All right, so that is it. And, you know, keep in mind, you have options, you have different design options, whether you want to do like this type of peekaboo with like a design card, colored card on the back, or just by itself. You have so many different options. Colored paper, you can print on these if you want, you know, whatever your heart's desires. There's literally so many different options that you can do with, you know, these types of envelopes. So you just got to find the right paper and have all of the tools. So I guess that's going to be it. All right, y'all have a marvelous one, and I will catch you guys on the flip side for my savings challenge, not savings challenge, excuse me, paycheck number 2 of January coming up this Friday with these envelopes. All right, peace.